Yo, what up guys, I'm Sammy and welcome back to the Soul Brothers channel, and today I'm going to be doing a versus comparison between the Jordan Westbrook One Take and the Nike KD Trey 5.8. So the Westbrook One Take is going for $100 and the KD Trey 5.8 is going for $90. If you guys want to cop, I'll leave a link in the description box, but let's get started off with the traction. I did not play on an indoor court in either of these shoes. This is just from outdoors experience and on my wood floors, which really doesn't matter because the finish is very different from an indoor basketball court. So take it with a grain of salt. But I will be comparing the outdoor performance. I mean, the outdoor performance is really good. Where I play, it has that rough surface, which most shoes have really good grip on. But as far as the durability goes, the KD Trey 5.8 is way better. Like the rubber is way harder. The grooves are actually a little bit deeper as well. And there's absolutely no fraying or anything on the rubber. The Westbrook One Take though has a lot of fraying. The rubber's ripping off. Super soft rubber as well. So if you're looking for a durable shoe, the KD Trey 5.8 is a lot better for the outsole. As far as testing it on my wood floors, they both seem really good. Both seem to have a nice squeak and a hard bite. And I do have some information on the KDs though. So the KD Trey 5.7, which Donnie Boy tested, has exact same rubber outsole and the cushioning system. And he said the traction was really good on that shoe. So I'm just going off what he said. As far as the heel to toe transition goes, they're very smooth. You have a nice curved shape here in the heel. So it's not clunky or anything. You have a nice curved shape here in the forefoot as well. Although the KD Trey 5.8 has a little bit more curve. Yeah, the Westbrook One Take is a little bit flatter though. But it's still not bad. And you have a lot of flex in the forefoot in both of the shoes. So they both feel very smooth and very fluid. The Westbrook One Take though has this, like, you see this decoupling right here, and there's no midfoot shank, it doesn't feel like. So torsional support, I don't really have any issues with it, but that is something to watch out for, I guess. As far as the cushioning goes, the cushioning is nice in both of the shoes. So the KD Trey 5.8, I would say, has a little bit more court feel. It's just a little bit better in the KDs. But the Westbrook One Take, I would say, is gonna last a little bit longer, right? So Renew doesn't last a long time. Yeah, it bottoms out pretty quickly, just like Lunar Lawn and just like Kush Lawn. So just watch out for that. It's super nice when you first get it though. It's soft, there's a nice subtle bounce, a good amount of compression, like not in the actual midsole, like it doesn't have a lot of compression like when you see the video, but then it just feels nice right underneath your foot, mostly in the heel though. The Westbrook One Take, they're using a Phylon, and it's still soft here in the heel, but then the zoom unit in the forefoot feels great. And zoom units don't really bottom out, like ever. The only time you're not going to be able to feel the zoom unit is when you pop it. So the forefoot zoom unit feels incredible in the Westbrook One Take. That feels nice and bouncy. For me personally, I would say I like the One Take a little bit better because you still get a nice soft Phylon. So I would say the Westbrook One Take is a little bit nicer, even though the KD Trey 5.8 is still nice. Alright, as far as the materials go, I would say the Westbrook One Take is better in quality. So it's using like a knit material, and it's pretty thick, it's robust, it feels very cozy, very soft on foot, and you can definitely tell by the quality. Even though it's only $10 more expensive, it's just like way better in quality. The KD Trey 5.8, the quality is still nice, but it just feels like a lot thinner and not as premium as the Westbrook One Take, right? Even though in the review I said the KD Trey 5.8 material is like pretty quality for the price, the Westbrook One Take is just weird. Like, I can't believe how good of a material it is just for $100. And it's miles better than the Why Not 0.3, which has like synthetic materials and foam back mesh. But anyways, so on foot, like if you want a thinner material, definitely go with the KD Trey 5.8. They're both soft. They both get the job done on foot. But if you want the more sturdier feeling material, more cozy and better quality material, get the Westbrook One Take. I don't know, it's a little bit of a toss-up for me because I do like a thinner material, like a lot more. But then the Westbrook One Take just feels like so soft and comfortable on foot. And it's not to the point where it's like way too bulky. So I would actually say I like the One Take a little bit better. Alright, as far as the fit goes, I went true to size for the Westbrook One Take, and it was really good for me. Lengthwise it was good, widthwise it was good, and it was pretty snug in the toe area. And it doesn't stretch out as much as the KD Trey 5.8, probably because it's thicker. The KD Trey 5.8, I went true to size and it runs a little long. but it is snug here in the toe area and it is quite narrow. So just be careful like on going down half a size because it might be a little too snug then. But the materials do stretch out a lot, so you should be able to get away with it. Just be careful on that. If you have a wide foot, I would suggest going with the Westbrook One Take, even though this shoe is still snug. One thing I forgot to mention in traction though is that the KD Trey 5.8 has kind of like an outsole curvature, which feels really nice. You feel a lot more like fluid, especially when you're doing like really hard cuts, like crossovers and step backs and stuff like that. The Westbrook One Take, there's a little bit of a curved shape here, but it's more just flat, so you don't feel that as much. And I guess the rubber does come up a little bit though. I guess around the same amount as a KD Trey 5.8, so you do have as much grip. But then this, like if you hear, that's more flat. The KD Trey 5.8, you still hear that, but then it's a little bit more like rounded out, you know? Alright, as far as support and lockdown goes, the Westbrook One Take is way better for lateral containment. I have no issues with it because like you see this fused material, you see this foam coming up here in the lateral side, as well as this TPU heel counter. The KD Trey 5.8 doesn't really have anything like that. You have an internal TPU heel counter and the foam does come up a little bit, but I had some issues right here, right? And that's where my pinky toe was, and when I was doing like hard lateral movements, I could feel my pinky toe just kind of like stretching the material out a little bit and kind of like sliding out of the footbed. So, and I'm very light, I'm only 150 pounds, so if you're heavier than me, which most people are, you'll probably feel that a lot more. So just watch out for that. As far as lateral stability goes, I had no issues with either of the shoes. Let's see which one is wider. It seems like the Westbrook One Take is just a little bit wider, right? No, I would say it's basically around the same, right? So lateral stability was good. Even though the KD Trey 5.8 has a higher cut here in the ankle area, it wasn't very good for ankle support. So ankle support, I pretty much tied up. If you want a little bit of something over your ankle, probably the KD Trey 5.8 is a little bit better, but not by much. Alright, as far as the weight goes, yeah, obviously the KD Trey 5.8 is going to be lighter, right? So this shoe is incredibly light, yeah, so 10.02 ounces, so basically 10 ounces, and the One Take's like 12? Yeah, 12.31. So if you want the lighter and more minimal shoe, go with the KD Trey 5.8. If you want the more supportive shoe and just a shoe that you feel a lot more like sturdy in, and a shoe that just feels more like robust, then the One Take is the better option. But they're both responsive. Just watch out for the KD Trey 5.8, like the lateral containment. That makes you feel a little bit slower when you're doing like really shifty moves. The Westbrook One Take, you really never have that issue. Moving on to the ventilation in the KD Trey 5.8 is way better. The material is a lot thinner, and if you blow through it, you can feel a little bit of airflow. Nothing crazy, but you can definitely feel it, and it wicks away moisture. The One Take is just super thick. There's really no airflow through it, and you know it traps in all that heat, so it's a lot more warm. As for break-in period, there's really no break-in period for either of the shoes. The cushioning you can feel right away. The materials are soft, just like any modern shoes. You don't really have to break in the materials. As far as aesthetics go, I would have to go with the KD Trey 5s. These are an incredible looking shoe. The One Take, not bad. You know, I wouldn't say it's my favorite looking shoe, but you know, it's not bad. That's all I'll say. So tell us what you guys think looks better down in the comment section below. So wrapping things up, $90 versus $100. So price, so there's really no price difference. They're both budget, and they're both very good quality shoes for how cheap they are. And they're both very, very good performers. So they are a little bit different, as in like, you know, the KD Trey 5.8, if you want a lighter shoe, a lot more minimal shoe, then go with the KDs. If you want a more supportive shoe, then go with the One Take. Personally for me, and this is very surprising for me as well, I would go with the One Take. Like the One Take wasn't like super bulky and super heavy to the point where just like it was very uncomfortable or anything. It was very doable for me, right? And the quality of the materials and just how comfortable they are on foot. The cushioning is really, really nice. Like the heel is nice. There's a nice compression. The forefoot zoom in is very comfortable. The fit was good for me, and you know, it was a very supportive shoe. The KD Trey 5, I love this shoe. It's incredible. Like in the review, I said it wasn't cheap like. You know, even though it's a super light shoe, it doesn't feel cheap like. But then like once you feel like like this shoe comparing it to this, it just feels like a little bit cheaper. You know, it just feels not as supportive, you know, like for lateral containment and all that. So because of that, I feel like I might take the one take over the KD Trey 5.8 more times than not. You know, the KD Trey 5.8, I will still play in it. I still really like this shoe, and I love how light and minimal it is. But then, like, if I want more of a cozier shoe, more supportive shoe that day, then I'll probably take the one take. So for most people, I would probably just recommend getting the one take. It is only $10 more. It seems more durable as well. Like, the material is a lot thicker and a lot more robust and all that. But I guess the outsole is not very durable though. But anyways, if you guys want to cop, I'll leave a link in the description box. But that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.